going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner.
Man, I'm confident in our offense. That's for sure.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. We are back. We literally just ended our live broadcast, and all of a sudden, we got breaking news. The Chicago Bears just signed Yannick Ngakoue to a $10.5 million deal. They signed the defensive end, PayPal. How are you feeling about this?
Hey, great news after that podcast of the Bears saying they're 0-17. So this is hey, now maybe the simulator is like, heck, 17-0.
17-0. Here we go.
Finally, like, I feel like, we all wanted this to happen, but it was just kind of like, is it actually going to happen? There's been so many times in the past where I feel like we've had rumors of like players that we really want, and it's like, Poles and Eberflus, they're doing it. They're kind of doing what the people want. They're making these good moves. It's like, it's awesome. It's awesome.
We said, first off, I want to know everyone's first impressions. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. How are we feeling? Yannick Ngakoue, breaking news. Because also, let's break it down. Skokes saying 9.5 sacks last season. He's correct. 9.5 sacks last season. 10 the year before. 5 before that, but it was only 6 games that he played at Minnesota. Then 8 sacks, 9.5 sacks, 12 sacks, and 8 sacks. He has 65 career sacks. And he's born back in 1995. I'm doing the quick math, 28. He's a young pass rusher that we got. We have the money. We talked about that. We'd rather spend it on somebody who can rush the passer. And I don't know, my impression is I don't really mind having Yannick Ngakoue when you have Rasheem Green, who plays the run well, when you have DeMarcus Walker, who plays the run well. Yannick can then just simply rush the passer, and we've talked about it before. He has the Colts coaching staff and around him, like that he was around with, but then he also has his defensive line coach from the Raiders is the Bears defensive line coach. So there's already some connections right there. I'm feeling good, right? We needed help.
We needed help, and this was the spot we needed it. It wasn't, it wasn't any other position in this defense. It seems like every position has been kind of doing their job this training camp, and we've been so excited with the secondary. With Kyler Gordon, Brisker, Ron's back. He came back on the show. Bear down. It's like it's crazy. Just we finally got what we need in this defense, and it's to get sacks. Brad, it's so sad when you look at the stats last year of how Brisker was our sack leader with four sacks, and he was our leader.
Yeah.
And then next was Travis Gibson and Justin Jones. And they had 3. They had 3 sacks. Yannick had 3 times as many sacks than are one of our highest leaders in Travis Gibson. So just having a guy like that can affect the passing game, it's just so huge because it's going to help obviously everyone around him. I just think our secondary played decent last year, and that was with the worst defensive line in the NFL. Now having this help, having these pressures, it's going to be huge. And I think this kind of is what this defensive line needed. We needed that number 1 pass rusher because we have the guys that can surround that number 1. We have those run stuffers. We have those versatile guys in place.
Yeah. And so in the comments, Reload saying, Brad, this is insane. Ron, you're not a fan of Yannick. Ron says we don't need Yannick. Hey, we got to have that too. And also I will say I get, there's 2 sides of it.
Hot
and
takes,
then Jones
Ron.
saying, let's go finally. Yeah. Ron's got the hot take. This is my take on it, right? I've said this before, when I was at camp, the defensive ends did not pop for me. I think this has more to say about the defensive ends that the Bears have out there than anything else. Cause we've said it before, Travis Gibson was not popping when I saw them. Gibson did not pop. Then who else did we have? Like Dominique Robinson. I haven't heard anybody say anything about Dominique Robinson.
Yeah.
Like for real. And
yep.
And then Rasheem Green, we already knew that he was kind of like basic. And that's where I like the idea of when you have $30 million, why not get the pass rusher extraordinaire? That's kind of just my feeling. So, and yeah, Horace saying this guy is a pure pass rusher. Exactly. And I think that's why I'm fine with this, right? If this was like your big ticket PayPal, I didn't like it when you said the 4 years, like when you wanted him.
Yeah,
4
I
years.
agree.
I like the 1 year. Yeah, I know afterwards you're like,
yeah.
In the post show, you're like, actually, I kind of just want him for 1 year. And yeah, this is the 1 year deal. And I'm curious to see what happens, right? And his career was interesting. He's always just been a pass rusher. We talked about the pass rushing stats with him, but I also want to just bring up PFF grades as well, and I'll dig into more. I'm literally just pulling up stats as we go. So in 2016, he had a PFF grade of his rookie season. He had a PFF grade of 52. 2017, it was 87. Then he was in the 70s for 3 straight years, all having bad run defense grades. And then for the past 2 seasons, PFF has given him a grade of 51 and 47. So PFF is not a big fan of him. And a big reason is they say he just doesn't win his one-on-one matchups. But he gets sacks. I think that's where it kind of comes out to that. And that's where I'm fine. 1 year, $10 million deal for a pass rusher. I don't really mind that. I don't mind that at all.
It's the best option I think we could have done. I mean, yeah, we talked about like a Justin Houston. We talked about kind of those, kind of more veterans like a Jadeveon Clowney. But I think this is a guy that will probably help the most in the pass rush. And that's the simple and kind of honest answer. And it's interesting, Brad, that you kind of mentioned the 1 year. I think that's interesting because I think we should definitely be planning that we'll have him for 1 year, and now we're definitely sounds like we'll probably get a defensive lineman now for like our first round draft pick next year. I think that's kind of our plan. At least that's what I'm thinking when I see a 1 year contract of, all right, this guy's going to just kind of be this temporary person, but we're going to have to build within the draft to help us out next year. Or maybe there's someone next year that they're eyeing up of, hey, we could sign this guy for a long contract when his contract expires. So yeah, that's what I kind of think of it. And it's interesting. And I do like the 1 year, 10 million. That's nothing to us Bears. Like we had the money to spend on any of these guys.
And I agree with Skokes out here. Like he's strictly here for passing downs, running downs. We'll have our guys out there. Right. And I think that's kind of the big key is he's going to be the runs. He's going to be the pass, beyond the passing downs. I think that's going to be the key piece for us to know.
Yeah, and I think that honestly, it sounds like, we're getting half of he's only going to be playing this many snaps, but it's like, I hope Don Burr's not in the chat, but that one guy that they have, I forgot he was that rookie they got last year, and he can only pass rush, but you could see how much that helps a team. Like, yeah, it's like he does only plays a limited amount of snaps, but it's like when he's out, he's going to get a sack, and sacks just can change the tide of a game. It can make, a 2nd and 20. It can make those long, it can completely stop a offense from keeping just going. So like, you can't underestimate sacks. They are a huge part of football, and he can Yannick can make some sacks.
Yeah, and like I just was looking at this too. PFF had him charted as a 7.1% win rate. And yeah, don't worry about Don. He's on a different channel.
Thanks, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, Yannick is 7.1% win rate according to PFF. And here's the sad part. Like, right, PFF was like, yeah, he sucked. But that's better than every single one of our pass rushers last season, except for Travis Gibson. And that's where I'm fine with it. you get he gets sacks, right? Like that's the piece. It's a 1-year prove it deal. I know the Gaines report said that up there. Yeah, you got the 1-year prove it deal. You see what he can do. And then from there, we'll see. But I think what I like about this is we aren't just rolling over, right? Like we see what Justin Fields is capable of. We've seen the wide receivers doing so much better. If the offensive line can hold together, this offense is going to be sick. Now we talk about this defense. Let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball, right? Like let's start talking about, wrong, sharing screen. Here we go. Let's talk about this defensive front because, right, like I think that now I don't think it's going to all of a sudden like vault this defensive line into one of the tops. We still need Trevon Dexter. We still need Zach Pickens to do well. But now when you have DeMarcus Walker, Yannick Ngakoue, Rasheem Green is more of that kind of depth piece with Dominique Robinson. Terrell Lewis has been popping, and Travis Gibson. See, now Terrell Lewis kind of showing some of those spurts. Now you're like, okay, that's good because now Travis Gibson might not be here. I think that tells more about Travis Gibson, Rasheem Green, and Dominique Robinson than anything else that, we need a defensive end.
Yeah, Brad, I'm just reading the comments. I love just seeing how hyped everyone else is in, it's just, smash that like button for, just being hyped about signing Yannick Ngakoue. Finally, the time has come. And
I love this Gaines report. Like, we're trying to win. Like,
that's trying to win now.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And I don't know. It feels good. Like, I think I'm always high on polls and Eberflus. Like, I think there's been some critics out there on them, but I've liked every single move they've done, and you can kind of see their vision. It always helps when they kind of do what us fans have been wanting for so long and signing a Yannick Ngakoue, because going into the season and say if we lost a lot of games, if we weren't getting pressure and we didn't have Yannick, what a depressing season it could have been. Like, of just being like, what if we had him? We would have been talking about what if we had him, and maybe he signed with the Colts again and he had another, it seems like he just gets 10 sacks, around that 10 sacks range every single year. So why not get a guy that can do that? And now we don't have to wish, we have him. And it's such a good feeling. I can't wait to see now him going to training camp. The cameras are going to be on him. We're going to get the video. The Chicago media is going to be all, showing Yannick doing all these swim moves. And and again, I think iron sharpens iron, Brad. And I think this could help our right a little bit. Our new tackle. I think that could help him kind of sharpen him up a little bit, like kind of go against a better defensive end, because iron sharpens iron, and he's been going against Dominique Robinson and Travis Gibson.
This is huge though, and I like what Irv said. This is win division for the playoff run. Like right now, it's like they can make a playoff run with this move, and because we've talked about this, it's not like we were saying that this Bears team is like going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. We were saying that this team was just like, it's middle of the road. And when you have a player like this, if the Yannick signing ends up hitting, and then you have some of your defensive linemen coming together, it's going to be explosive. Also, Joe Taylor, he said, I hollered in the bathroom when I read the signing. Why asked what's wrong?
It's like, should I do you need help?
I also like this, I don't want to say this is like Khalil Mack, but Joe's story reminds me, like, we were driving to Madison to see my wife's family, and I remember when the Bears signed Khalil Mack, I just looked down at my phone and I was like, what? And I was sitting back, I'm like, what just happened? And I was sitting with the baby, and but this is crazy because I was watching the Nomad Network, friends of the show, like Triple R's on there, Renewables on there a bunch of times, or like, I think he's now officially part of the show over there. But yeah, I was watching them, and all of a sudden someone's like, Yannick. And they're like, Yannick, and everyone's like, Yannick, Yannick, Yannick. And I call you up. I was like, dude, we got to go live right now. This is great. Like, Travis is saying playoffs for sure now. Saying, I truly believe in my heart the signing of Yannick is not the end of Dominique Robinson, rookie versus Gibson, who's not. Yeah, like, I agree. I don't think that Dominique Robinson's going to be gone. But yeah, like Gibson, it's kind of like the writing's on the wall. Also, yeah, Broski with a good point. DeMarcus Walker was also injured like in training camp for the last couple of days. So maybe it's more serious. Maybe they don't know. That's a very good point.
But either man, I hope that's not the reasoning, because honestly, we need DeMarcus Walker too on the other side, because we still don't really have. He'd be kind of the other guy that we need on the other side, because having Yannick, he can't do it alone. We'll need another edge. But yeah, this is exciting, and
I'm just going through comments. What's up, T-Dub? And then we got Love Dave. Yeah, there we go. Oh my God, just saw this pop up on my feed and I'm stoked, right? $10.5 million. Also, is anybody like, I'm curious, like, is anybody nervous about the contract? Because to me, it's like, I'm fine. And it's like, polls wouldn't push money out in the future. And that's where I'm fine with this signing as a whole, overall too. But yeah, Amber said Yannick has been a free agent for 6 months. Yeah, I could see him saying that, where it's like, well, yeah, like, he's not that, like, yeah, he's been a free agent for all this time. But yeah, that's like, it's the pass rushing. And I think too, in this, we hear about the energy that this Bears defense brings. And I think that's why I'm also excited. They know Yannick inside and out. They know what he's going to bring to the locker room. That's where I feel comfortable with bringing in a player like this. Heck, bring in Justin Houston too, right? Are we looking to sign? Actually, question, are we looking to sign anybody else, or is this fine? Because when you look at the depth,
the more the merrier, Brad.
I just don't know how they would like actually swing that. It would be like if Walker was out for the season, which God forbid, let's hope not. Then yeah, but I feel like now you're pretty set.
Yeah, like, would they have the balls to cut like Travis Gibson or like a Dominique Robinson?
Yeah,
because it seems like Terrell Lewis, I think, I don't know about you, but it sounds like as of now, Terrell Lewis might make the team, you know, because it seems like he's doing a lot more production than Dominique Robinson and Travis Gibson. So like, you know, like the starting line, like, so it's Yannick, you know, DeMarcus Walker, if he's healthy, whatever. Rasheem Green definitely making the team. Terrell Lewis, like, is he like going to be the number 2 on that other side? Like,
right? I mean, we talked about this, like, even, yeah, like with all this out here, is Rasheem Green, like, I think the big question will be Travis and Rasheem Green. Travis, Rasheem Green, and Terrell Lewis will have to see kind of that duke out, because yeah, you're not going to cut a rookie or a second-year player out of Dominique Robinson. You could get rid of Rasheem Green. He doesn't have a crazy contract. But yeah, now everything starts shaping out. What do we want at this defensive end spot? And yeah, I wouldn't just be watching Yannick Ngakoue highlights for the rest of the night now. I think that's what I'm going to be doing now. So
would it rattle the team if we sign like Justin Houston? You know what I mean? Like, if we sign like a guy like that, like, I think that would be pushing it, because then we would have to cut someone like, Travis Gibson or Rasheem Green or something. But
yeah, I like what Torrance said. Pace would have signed him to a 2-year, $90 million deal. Also, don't forget, Torrin, he would have also probably pushed the money out 5 years down the road, and we'd still be paying.
We'd still be paying, you know.
He'd be like, it's actually like a 2-year. It would be like a 5-year, $90 million deal, and then we'd be paying like $20 million in three void years or something like that.
Fred, I'm just saying, I feel a lot more confident. Like, I actually had a talk with a coworker today of like, hey, like, who's going to win the NFC North? And it's like, I have lot more confidence now of being like, hey, like we can. Again, I got to check the comments. Don Burr is not in here. It's kind of us or the Lions, I think. Like, I think the Vikings, they're good. Their offense is very dangerous, I think, this year, especially with Jordan Addison. I think he's going to ball out. But it's like, I'm kind of worried about the Lions, and that would be kind of our matchup. I feel so much more comfortable now kind of going up against them because our offense, I think, is going to be better than their offense. And then our defense kind of now at getting this addition kind of stacks up with theirs.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy. I can't believe it. I think we should probably wrap it up because I feel like I've been saying the same thing. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm excited. And like, it's crazy to see this. I'm so glad that they were able to sign this. We talked about this as well on the July 30th show where we said like, look at what's going to happen. The signing of Danielle Hunter was probably one of those dominoes where they said, let's make it happen. Let's sign it on an off day and let's bring it in. And I think that's ultimately, I like to think that's what happened behind the scenes. And so I'm excited. Like and subscribe out there. I also think too, I kind of want to see this. I want us to get so many subscribers on YouTube. I'm going to say that's how many passing yards Justin Fields is going to have. So let's go for over 4,000. Let's be ambitious. However many subs we get, that's going to be how many yards Justin gets. So we need as many subs as possible. But also, I said this at the end of the last show, we will be giving away a Darnell Wright jersey. I just need to figure out how to give it away and what all the criteria is going to be. So make sure to follow the show. Make sure to like. Make sure to subscribe. We appreciate you all. Bear the frick down. Let's go. We signed Yannick Ngakoue.
Let's go.